All right, so get ready because today we are going deep on the life and work of Bob Camblin.
Bob Camblin.
Yeah, an American artist
Okay.
whose path is just as interesting as his artwork.
Right.
Think like um, Wizard of Oz meets like a hidden treasure hunt
Okay.
because we're going to go beyond just what he created and really look into the forces that shaped him.
I like it.
Yeah,
I like it.
we've got like a Wikipedia article to start off with some excerpts from a biography.
Nice.
This is the really exciting part. We've got some glimpses into his personal sketchbooks.
Oh, cool.
Those are always really insightful for understanding an artist's mind, wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's where you find like the raw ideas, right? The experiments, the little seeds that blossom into their finished work.
Yeah. So let's start at the beginning.
Okay.
Camblin was born in 1928 in Ponca City, Oklahoma.
Ponca City.
Yeah.
Mm.
So picture this. It's like the world before television, a time when life was so much more local,
Right.
more rooted in your immediate surroundings.
Right. Yeah, just like a different pace.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But there's this really striking contrast in Ponca City.
Okay.
You've got this grand Marland estate.
The Marland Estate.
Yeah, which was completed that very same year in 1928.
Oh, wow.
I know, it's crazy, right?
Huh.
Like just filled with art and objects from all over the world.
It's almost like this really opulent estate, like planted a seed
Mm.
in young Camlin, this fascination with like layers beneath the surface and stories waiting to be uncovered.
It's almost too perfect, isn't it?
Yeah.
Camblin being born the same year, this mansion is finished right there in his hometown.
Right.
Makes you wonder if there's some kind of cosmic connection there,
Yeah.
fueling his later fascination with hidden meanings and symbolism and all that.
Right. Well, and speaking of hidden symbols, we can't forget the Pioneer Woman statue
Oh, yeah.
by Bryant Baker, which is one of the prominent sculptures on the Marland Estate.
Okay.
And this statue becomes this recurring motif in Camblin's work, almost like a hidden signature. He even cleverly incorporates these double VVs
Really?
as a tribute to his mother, Viva.
It's like he's playing a game with the viewer,
Yes.
leaving these little clues,
Little Easter egg.
Yeah, these little whispers throughout his art,
Yeah.
daring us to connect the dots.
Exactly. And then in 1938, young Camblin experiences The Wizard of Oz.
Oh, of course.
For the first time now, while most of us were probably just captivated by the movie's magic.
Right.
For Camblin, it seemed to spark something deeper.
Okay.
We see these themes of transformation, hidden worlds, journeys beyond the ordinary popping up throughout his artistic career.
So you're saying if we think of Oklahoma as Camblin's Kansas,
Yes.
a place he ultimately needs to leave behind,
Right.
then The Wizard of Oz becomes like the roadmap for his artistic journey,
Absolutely.
a search for something beyond the surface reality.
It's like he's on his own yellow brick road.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah. And every experience, every influence becomes a stop along the way.
So following this yellow brick road of his, we arrive at Camblin's formal training, the Kansas City Art Institute.
Right?
He earns both his BFA and his MFA by 1955.
Pretty impressive.
Yes, super impressive.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, gets a Fulbright scholarship to go to Italy in 1956.
A Fulbright at that stage in his career is significant.
Yeah.
It's not just the money, it's the recognition, from the art world that he's somebody to watch.
Yeah, he's a talent to watch.
Right.
And this early success really sets Camblin apart from that whole stereotypical starving artist narrative.
Right.
I mean, he's already exhibiting work even at the Smithsonian.
Wow.
And here's where things get really interesting.
Okay.
He doesn't let this early success define him.
Interesting.
He's restless. He's always pushing forward, always seeking new inspiration.
That restlessness, that constant desire to evolve,
Yeah.
that's key to understanding Camlin. It's not about the accolades or the recognition. It's about pursuing something deeper, something he's trying to express through his art. Like he knows there's more to discover, more to the journey, more to his yellow brick road.
And so Italy becomes his Emerald City.
Ah,
Venice especially seems to have just captivated him.
Venice, beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like he stepped into this whole new world of artistic possibilities.
Think about the artistic treasures he encountered there.
Oh, yeah.
The Uffizi Gallery with its masterpieces by Da Vinci and Michelangelo.
Oh, wow.
The Capuchin catacombs with their stark and macabre displays of skeletal remains.
Yeah.
What Camlin himself referred to as mummies.
Mummies.
Yeah, these contrasting images, beauty and mortality,
Right.
must have made a profound impression on him.
Yeah, those catacombs with their sense of hidden things and secrets beneath the surface.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's easy to see how those images would stay with you.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And remember, this is just the beginning of his journey.
Right. Yeah.
He's absorbing all these influences, these contrasting images and ideas, which will later manifest in his own unique artistic language.
And then just when you think his path is set, he starts teaching, right?
Yes. He embarks on his academic career teaching at various institutions, Ringling, the University of Illinois, Detroit, even Utah.
Wow, that's quite the resume.
It's impressive, but something tells me there's more to the story.
Oh, absolutely. This is Camblin we're talking about.
Right.
A man who sees The Wizard of Oz and takes it as a personal challenge to find his own yellow brick road.
Right.
Do you really think a few teaching gigs were going to satisfy that restless spirit?
Yeah, good point.
You're right. A traditional academic path wasn't really going to cut it for Camblin.
No.
He was more drawn to places, with a bit more artistic energy,
Okay.
a bit more room to experiment and play around with ideas. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. And that poll ultimately leads him to Rice University
Oh,
in
yeah.
Houston in 1967.
Houston.
Yeah.
It's not exactly the first place that comes to mind
I know, right?
when you think about like groundbreaking art movements and stuff.
Yeah, but remember, this is the late 60s, early 70s.
Okay.
Houston's art scene is starting to really buzz.
Really?
Yeah, it's a place where artists are pushing boundaries, experimenting with new forms, new ideas.
It's where Camblin meets Earl Staley,
Okay.
another artist who becomes super important in his journey.
Okay, yeah.
And I love this little detail.
Hmm.
They set up their studios right next door to each other.
Really?
Yeah, like artistic neighbors.
Oh, that's so cool.
I know.
It speaks to their shared need for that creative dialogue.
Yeah.
For that back and forth exchange of ideas that fuels artistic growth.
Yeah, and it's around this time that Camblin really starts to hit his stride.
Okay.
He's exhibiting regularly, his work is getting attention,
Right.
but, that restlessness we talked about
Yeah.
never really goes away.
Of course not. This is Camden we're talking about.
Yeah.
A man who sees The Wizard of Oz and takes it as a personal challenge to find his own yellow brick road.
Exactly.
You think he's going to settle for easy answers or the expected path?
Never.
No way.
And that leads us to, I think, a pivotal moment
Okay.
in Camblin's artistic development, his Scarecrow series.
The Scarecrows. Yes.
Yes.
It's so fascinating, this departure from his earlier work.
It is.
What do you think drew him to that particular subject matter?
I think it really ties back to those themes of transformation we talked about.
Right.
Shedding the old self, embracing the unknown.
Right.
It's almost like the Scarecrow becomes this metaphor
Interesting.
for the artist himself.
Mm.
They're constantly evolving, shedding old forms, and embracing new possibilities.
And let's not forget the literary connection here.
Oh, yeah.
Camblin was really inspired by Gunter Grass's novel Dog Years,
Okay.
which explores these themes of identity and memory, the weight of history.
Right.
It's almost as if he's using the scarecrows to visually represent these complex ideas.
It's like those scarecrows aren't just standing in a field.
Right.
They're standing at this crossroads of history and memory and personal transformation.
Exactly. And then to make things even more intriguing,
Yeah.
Camblin starts incorporating these blocks of text into his drawings.
Yeah.
Almost like these cryptic messages or clues embedded within the artwork itself.
So he's playing with the relationship between words and images.
Yes.
How they can both reveal and obscure meaning.
Exactly. Remember that hidden pioneer woman statue? It's like he's saying, I'm giving you the pieces, but it's up to you to put the puzzle together.
He's inviting the viewer to become an active participant in the creative process.
Yes.
It's not just about passively observing the art,
Right.
It's about engaging with it, deciphering its secrets, and finding your own meaning within it.
It's a dialogue.
Yeah, but all this experimentation, this pushing of boundaries, it doesn't always sit well with the art world, does it?
That's a really good point. You're touching on a key tension, I think, in Camblin's career.
Yeah.
He saw the art market becoming increasingly commercialized,
Right.
driven by trends and profits, rather than genuine artistic expression.
Ugh, it's the worst.
Yeah, it's a dilemma so many artists face.
Right.
This need to sell your work to survive, but also stay true to your artistic vision.
Yeah. And Camblin, with his fascination with hidden meanings and his, unconventional approach,
Right.
he wasn't exactly playing by the art world's rules.
No, he was. In fact, he even said, quote, Part of his trouble was that he always wanted to drop out of the art racket.
Wow.
He didn't want to become a watercolor factory just churning out work to please the market.
You want it to be authentic.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And this tension, the struggle for creative autonomy, it becomes a defining characteristic of his later career.
It makes sense.
And it's against this backdrop that we see the emergence of another key figure in Camblin's life,
Okay.
Nancy Giordano Echegoyen,
Oh, yeah.
an artist who would become his wife and collaborator.
The anonymous artist, I thought that they chose to work under a shared pseudonym.
It's like they were trying to erase the ego
Yeah.
to let the art speak for itself without the baggage of individual names or reputations.
It's a fascinating choice.
It is.
It really speaks to their shared belief in the power of collaboration,
Ab-
merging their individual voices into a single unified expression.
I love that. And their collaborative work takes on this whole new dimension
Okay.
with the development of their Musha Volantes technique.
Musha volantes,
Hmm.
meaning flying flies.
Yeah,
What an evocative name for an artistic technique.
I know, right?
How would you describe it for someone who's never encountered it before?
Imagine this intricate patterns of dots and dashes
Yeah.
applied with like meticulous precision,
Oh, yeah.
creating this shimmering, almost hypnotic effect.
Oh, wow.
It's a technique that plays with optics and perception,
Mm.
drawing the viewer in and inviting them to lose themselves in those intricate details. Think of it like a visual code waiting to be deciphered.
It's like they took the pointillism of Seurat
Yeah.
and like infused it with a dash of cubist fragmentation,
Oh, yeah.
a touch of surrealist mystery.
I like it.
Yeah, and a perfect example of this technique is their collaborative piece, Big Al Electric Age.
Yes.
It's a complex work full of hidden meanings and visual layers.
Just like Camblin's own journey.
Exactly. And we see those themes of transformation, of shedding the old and embracing the new, continuing to emerge in their collaborative work.
It's like they found a way to amplify those ideas,
Yeah.
to push them even further through their shared artistic language.
But just when you think Camblin has found his groove, his creative home,
Right, yeah.
that restlessness kicks in again.
Oh, no.
I know.
And this time, it leads him to make a radical decision, a
And-
decision that will forever alter the course of his artistic journey.
So we've got Camblin seemingly at the peak of his creative powers, you're collaborating with Nancy, exploring these fascinating new techniques,
Right.
but something's still pulling him away from it all.
You know, remember that art racket quote we were talking about?
Yeah.
We're about to see him put his words into action.
Okay.
He makes this decision to, like, step back from the gallery scene. Exhibitions, that whole system that he felt was just becoming too focused on the commerce and not enough on genuine expression,
Yeah.
you know?
It's a pretty bold move, especially for an artist who's already achieved, a certain level of recognition.
Yeah, right.
It's like he's saying, I'm not playing your game anymore.
Yeah.
I'm going to make art on my own terms.
Exactly, and he does just that.
So what does he do?
He travels extensively seeking inspiration in new landscapes and new cultures.
Okay.
You see him in Paris soaking up the Impressionists. Then he's in Hawaii, drawn to these vibrant colors and organic forms of the islands.
Yeah.
And then he even ventures to these remote Pacific islands where he immerses himself in indigenous art traditions.
It's like he's shedding all the expectations and pressures of the art world
Right.
and returning to like a more primal form of creative expression.
Yeah. Stripping away the layers, getting back to the essence of what it means to be an artist.
Yeah. And it's during these travels that we see the emergence of his final artistic evolution.
Okay.
Writing this really unique fusion of calligraphy and drawing.
Draw writing.
Yeah,
It sounds almost mystical,
it does.
like a secret language whispered between the artist and the page.
Yeah, how would you describe it?
Okay, so think of it like this.
Okay.
Imagine the fluidity of Japanese calligraphy,
Yeah.
where each stroke is both word and image,
Right.
merging seamlessly. You know,
Okay.
Camblin takes this concept and pushes it further, weaving personal narratives and visual poetry into these intricate works.
So it's not just about beautiful lettering.
No.
It's about storytelling,
Yeah.
embedding meaning and emotion within the strokes of his pen.
Exactly. He's drawing inspiration from haiga,
Okay.
this traditional Japanese art form that combines painting and calligraphy, creating a kind of visual poem.
I see.
It's like the words and images are dancing together on the page,
Yeah.
each one informing and enriching the other.
So where does he settle down to create these Dira writings?
He ends up in Oregon.
Oregon.
Yeah, of all places, setting up his studio right by the ocean.
Wow.
Imagine like the waves crashing against the shore, the salty air, the sense of vastness and solitude.
Yeah.
It's like the perfect backdrop for this introspective and deeply personal art form.
And get this,
Yeah.
he even burns some of his draw writings for firewood.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Talk about a statement.
What a statement.
It's like he's saying the value of art isn't in its monetary worth.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Yeah.
in the act of creation, the process
Yeah.
of bringing something new into the world.
It's a radical act, you know?
It is.
It's a rejection of that traditional art market and its obsession with commodification.
Right.
For Camblin, the true worth of art lies in its ability to connect with the human spirit,
Yeah.
to spark emotion.
And make you feel something.
Yeah, to ignite the imagination.
So we've traveled quite a distance with Camblin, haven't we?
We have.
From the grand Marland estate of his childhood
Right.
to the bustling art scene of Houston
Yeah.
to the tranquil shores of Oregon.
Yeah, it's been quite the journey.
Yeah, it's been a journey of exploration, transformation, and ultimately a search for artistic freedom, I think.
Absolutely. And what stands out to you most about his path?
You know, I think it's his unwavering commitment to his own vision, even when it meant challenging conventions or stepping outside of the established art world.
Yeah.
You know, he reminds us that true creativity isn't about following the rules.
Yeah.
It's about forging your own path.
Absolutely, even if it leads you off the beaten track a little bit.
Yeah?
Right. He teaches us that the real magic lies in the unknown,
Right.
in embracing the unexpected turns of that yellow brick road.
I love that.
Yeah. Camblin's legacy is a reminder that art is a journey, not a destination.
Yeah.
It's about constant exploration and evolution,
Right.
the willingness to shed old skins and embrace new possibilities.
And maybe the most important lesson of all is that sometimes you have to leave the Emerald City behind to truly find yourself,
I like that.
to discover your own unique voice, your own way of expressing the world around you and within you.
So if there's one thing we hope you take away from this deep dive,
Yeah.
it's this: embrace that spirit of exploration.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to get lost,
Right.
to wander off the map.
To follow your own yellow brick road.
Exactly. You never know what treasures you might uncover along the way.
This deep dive has only scratched the surface of Camblin's incredible journey.
I know.
We encourage you to seek out his work online.
Yeah.
Delve into those sketchbooks. Explore those intricate jaw writings.
Absolutely.
Let his art inspire you, challenge you,
Yes.
and maybe even lead you down your own unexpected path.
Beautiful.
Until next time, keep diving.